This is new script of blizzare amazing hate speech of Greta Thunberg. How dare you? You think you can just come in here and tell us what to do? We are the ones who have been fighting this war for years. We don't need any more orders from some old man. If you want to live, then at least learn how to shoot a gun properly before you start talking with us like an equal. Now I'm sure by now most of you have heard about our recent victory over that little bandit group up north. Well, I guess it's high time we told everyone, because there has been quite a bit of talk lately about breaking away from the empire. Most of the other major powers have their own internal problems and aren't paying attention to what's going on here anymore, so they're not likely to be interested in helping us either. So unless you've got something better to do, I'd suggest staying out of this. It would probably be best if only the most determined rebels stayed here though. The rest will eventually follow their leaders' lead and leave when they feel like it. Good luck with your rebellion, kid. Maybe one day you'll make it big enough to run things yourself. This is very interesting new information, however it doesn't seem to be the whole picture. It would appear that it wasn't just the empire which was in disarray, but also the various states have been going through some sort of power struggle as well. It seems as if the state of Velzyre is attempting to break away from the empire. This is probably what Captain Poyo was talking about. You also get the impression that if the state of Velzyre does break away from the empire, that the other states will follow. This might not be such a bad thing, as the empire was starting to show signs of weakness and you had been hearing rumors about how it wasn't as strong as it once was. If Velzyre did actually manage to break away, that would probably be the beginning of a new era in this part of the world. This would also give you and Allison much more freedom to do as you please, and would take away some of the restrictions you sometimes had, like having to report to the fort about the gnolls. Of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. There is still a lot of damage that could come from this. The biggest of which is if the Empire does regain control over Velzyre, it could still have enough strength to punish those involved in the rebellion. You decide that you're going to have to speak to your captain about this, because this does involve the Empire after all, and the safety of your fort. Before you can think of anything else, a messenger walks in. "Yes, sir, you're wanted at headquarters right away." "Why?" "It's AC call for all high-ranking officers. They said it was very important." The message came from the capital. "I'm supposed to take you there, Captain." "Very well, I'll be back before too long, people. I want you all to behave yourselves while I'm gone, especially you, Allison. I still don't trust you. Lock her up again and make sure there is a good guard. I want at least 3 men watching her at all times." "Yes, Captain, we shall obey." You all leave for the capital, and after a long journey you finally arrive. The capital itself is very modern looking, with huge buildings made of solid stone and many people in the streets going about their business. You've always wondered what the capital was like, but you never expected it to be this big. When you get to military headquarters, you see many military personnel milling about, guards and soldiers alike, all moving briskly about their business. It almost reminds you of the fort, but there is a lot more busier and more stuff going on. You get a few stares from the other soldiers, but nothing out of the ordinary. After all, you are a high-ranking officer, so you suppose that might account for some of it. After asking several guards and personnel, you finally reach the conference room, which is where you are supposed to be going. Inside you see several high-ranking officers as expected. You take a seat and wait for the meeting to start. A man in very fancy clothing enters the room and says that he will be overseeing this operation and that everyone shall obey his orders while he is here. He then goes on about how this operation is of the utmost importance to the kingdom. After speaking with great enthusiasm about the mission, he finally allows the officers to ask questions. Most of the questions are about why this operation is so important, to which he explains that the Emperor himself sees this as a very important mission and wishes to see it done as quickly as possible. He says that the Emperor has even authorized the use of magic if necessary. When one officer asks what would constitute as a success, he states that the criteria is if they at least find the mine and determine what exactly is going on there. The Emperor just wants to make sure that the gnomes aren't plan.